It's a blessing to welcome on one of the newest members of George Washington. He had a 4-year career at Arizona, former top 100 recruit, Ira Lee. How you doing, man?
Doing great, man. How about you?
Pretty good. We're going to take us through this. We know the transfer portal is constantly moving right now. It's going crazy. But you already got out of the way. You already found your new home for 1 year at GT. Take us through how excited you are.
Man, I'm very excited. Just going through this process. My process was quick. Only took about 3 weeks to make a decision, and just seeing like all the people getting in the portal, I figured, it's time to find a home. But just discussing it with my family and just everyone around me, we just felt it was the best move to go to George Washington. Whether it's all the way in DC, far from home.
And you grew up in Arizona, then you moved up to California where you spent high school. You came back to Arizona, obviously, for college. So, like you just said, you're heading East Coast now, far away from home. How do you kind of plan to adjust to that and living on a whole other side of the country?
Just be myself. I
Mhm.
feel like I'm a pretty adaptable dude. So, I've played with all sorts of players from different places, different countries. So, that type of stuff doesn't really worry me.
Without a doubt. Well, we're going to get in GW in a little bit, but I want people to kind of get to know you a little bit more. Let fans kind of learn
hmm
who they're getting in you. So let's kind of head back. I said you're from Arizona, but you really started your whole basketball name. You really started growing up in California, really create your name for yourself. Take us to that original move. Like, what caused you guys to go from Arizona to California?
Yeah, I mean, I always just go back and forth from Arizona to LA because my mom lived in, well, like my mom's family lives in Phoenix and my dad's family lives in LA. So when I
Mhm.
was little, I went back and forth, back and forth. And then when I was about 11, 12, I made the decision to live with my dad. And that's when I started taking sports more seriously. I really wasn't into sports when I was a kid. I
Mhm.
was a big, clumsy guy. But I came to live with my dad, got into sports. My dad played in the NFL, so he's an athletic, fit guy, more fit than most of us young people. But and then yeah, everything just took off from there. Started dunking on people. Started hitting my shots. Started getting on mixtapes, and life was good from there. And then I went to Arizona.
That's obviously a huge thing. I mean, obviously, you're the dad who didn't play basketball, but just having the athletic background behind you, having a guy that has played at the professional level, kind of walked the path that you ultimately want to do. How big was
hmm
that for your career and just overall your game of basketball?
I mean, it helped a lot because he just taught me the dedication you
Hmm.
have to just be at a high level, just doing crazy stuff like I do homework. It'd be 10 o'clock at night. It'll be 10:30, 11 o'clock. Hey, let's go run the hill. I'm like, huh? Like, why are we doing this? But in the end, that stuff pays off. It yeah, makes the reward sweeter. So that's what he's taught me the most, especially being a pro, because it's your job. That's all you do. It's like, you being a reporter or a writer, that's what you do. Like us being pro athletes, like you wake up in whatever sport you're doing, that is your job. So, you
Hmm.
know, that's how we do it.
And when you go out there for high school, you go to Sierra Canyon, which I think most of the country now knows that fall basketball has become a bigger and bigger name. But you kind of go out there
hmm
and you still are a big team. You have Adam, you have Cody Riley, we know who that is right now playing at UCLA.
hmm
Really just a stacked
hmm
scenario as a freshman. Take us to that,
hmm
like, what went into your decision? Like, why did you choose Sierra Canyon? Why is that the school you chose for your freshman year?
I mean, they put us together. We actually all came together in middle school. So it was, like you said, Adam, Cody, Terrence McBride, who's going to Rice right now,
Mhm.
Remy Martin at ASU, and then Deveau Ramsey at Santa Barbara. We all came together in middle school. We won two national championships, um, back to back, and then we came to high school and we said, okay, we're going to be Fab Five freshmen. That's what everyone put, or they stamped on us. We're the Fab
Mhm.
Five freshmen, and it was nice. We were top 10 the years I was there. I left, because personal internal reasons,
Mhm.
and I still got love for those guys. They're all, to say how good the team is. Almost the whole team was in the dang tournament this year, so it's a good experience though. And then I went to see not Sierra Canyon. I went to Prolific Prep for 6 months. and played with Josh Jackson, Vance Jackson, um, and it was a pretty talented team. We I think we end up winning anything? No, we didn't win it. We didn't win anything, but it was a really talented group. And then
Mhm.
I came back home, went to Crossroads. I went to 3 high schools in a matter of a year. It's crazy, but came back home, went to Crossroads with my boy Sharif. He talked me into going to nice Crossroads. I was like, okay, like sure, because I was about to go to like my local high school, like Fairfax or like Dorsey, something down the
Mhm.
street from my house. But he's like, come to Crossroads, bro. Like, it'll be fun, and you'll get to play Sierra Canyon. I was like, okay. Like, I can't pass on that. So yeah, that's the story. That's my high school story.
You mentioned that first Fab Five group, and a lot of these guys always panned out too. You look at Remy, obviously goes down as one of the better ASU players to ever come from there. Cody Riley, we know
Mm-hmm.
he's still creating his legacy out there at UCLA, Final Four right now. Like all you
Mm-hmm.
guys started coming together. Like, what's it been like watching them all develop and all you guys kind of go through your college journey together and really all living out that kind of dream you guys had?
It's wild because we're actually like because I just had a birthday. We all talked about it. Like we're all getting old, bro. It was like we're getting old. Like it was 10 years ago. We were at nationals. 12, 13 years old. Parents yelling at us, saying we're grown men. We were talking about that the other day on my birthday. So
Mhm.
I mean, it's just crazy. Everybody develops into what they've become, and we kind of knew who everybody was going to be. Just
Mhm.
by personalities and work ethic. So, I'm happy for those guys. And obviously, we don't stop at college. We're gonna all make money
Mhm.
doing what we do, and just hope healthy careers for all of them.
In terms of Remy, it's kind of fast forwards a little bit, but obviously you're a Wildcat, he's a Sun Devil. We know this one of the bigger rivalries in the entire country. How was that battling? Obviously, you guys are still friends and all that, but once you guys get on the court, I know it probably separate a little bit. How do you
Mhm.
guys balance that rivalry friendship?
I mean, we've always been a competitive too. That
Mhm.
actually, Remy was my closest friend on that team, on the Sierra Canyon team. So we grew up together, families, have parties together, that type of deal.
Mhm.
And but when it came time to play, we all the friend stuff goes out the window. But we always play 1-on-1 and like pick up back home. So it didn't really make a difference. It was just another game for us, aside from all the other rivalry
Mhm.
chants on the side.
Ultimately, then, as you said, after your sophomore year, you missed a lot of it because of your shoulder injury. Making the move to prolific prep, and you go with a lot more star talent. You get Josh Jackson, who becomes a top five pick, and we know he's doing that in Detroit now, and a lot of special guys on that team. What was that like, and why did you choose to go to prolific?
Well, ultimately, CIF has a rule where you can't, if you transfer schools in the middle of the season,
Mhm.
you have to sit out. So I didn't want to sit out again. I already sat out 1 year for a shoulder. So
Mhm.
um, ultimately, I didn't want to leave home, but my dad, he said we were going to go to prolific prep, and I have the connection because my uncle and actually my cousin played on the team with me, Pierre Crocker. He actually plays with the Pacific right now.
Mhm.
So that's how I got there, and it was different environment, away from home. No mom, no grandma, no dad, none of that. So it was different, but I got used to it. Guys were cool. Josh, honestly, that's where I learned how to be versatile, was when I played with Josh. He wasn't oh, I got to score 30, 40. I got to shoot the ball 20 times. He was trying to get a triple double. He's trying to make the game easy for everyone. So I took that from him. And then actually, when I went to Crossroads and I had to be more of a leader with a young group, that helped me a lot.
That's something even bigger. Once again, Prolific now has grown to a lot bigger name than it was at that time too. But all this kind of came together, and you're going to this grind session, which is where you obviously get to play against top talent across the season.
Hmm.
What was that like? That's
Hmm.
a lot different now. Now it's a typical thing. We know high school, a lot of guys have in the different teams, but you're one of the that was
Yeah.
Prolific was one of the first kind of teams to be part of that grind session. What was that like, kind of playing that national scene at national level?
I mean, it got us ready for college. We traveled. What I left Sierra Canyon in December. I got to Prolific in January. we traveled for a good 3 months. Like
Mm-hmm.
leave on Wednesday, get back home on Sunday. Like, but it was the best talent, playing against DeAndre Ayton, freaking Azubuike, big Azubuike. Um, guys like that, Brian Bowen. There was just so many guys, so much talent, but it was fun. It was fun. It was definitely a different experience too, because you're used to playing at home, used to being in front of your home crowd, but I'm in freaking Kentucky and it's snowing. And I'm calling my dad like, "Hey, I want to go home. Like, what am I doing out here?" But it was, in the end, it worked out. It all worked out.
You mentioned Josh. Obviously, you learn a little bit of versatility from him, but being around a guy that ultimately is a pro, he obviously is a one-and-done guy. We know he's doing the NBA now. What was his mentality like? What were you able to see from him as a pro kind of prospect? Like, did you see the pro possibility in him? Like, did you see him kind of? What's just the mentality of a future pro?
Yeah, I mean that, like, when I first got to Prolific, a lot of guys were intimidated because
Mm-hmm.
he plays hard. He's gonna talk crap. He's gonna do the dirty stuff. But that's, I do the same thing. So when I got there, that's where we gained respect for each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, so from that immediately, he just, the way he attacks the game. He tried, instead of a layup, he's gonna try to dunk it. He's gonna try to block every shot. He's gonna try to get every steal, and he's just gonna try to make things happen. So that's where I knew, okay, he'll be fine. Like when he went to decide to go to Kansas, um, he was struggling in the beginning. I
Mm-hmm.
said, just wait, and then as the second half of the season, he started to pick it up,
Mm-hmm.
and hey, now he's making moves. So
And throughout your career so far, you played against a lot of guys and played with a lot of guys that have pro potential and have been in the NBA now. Remy soon to be that. Josh, Nico, Josh Green, obviously Zeke,
mhm.
DeAndre. Like, what's the differences between some of those guys? Like, what separates some of them, and just really, what's some of the similarities and differences between them?
I mean, just different. They're all just different types of players. Just the way the NBA is now. So there's so many. It's not like, okay, if you're a big man, you're on the block. This is what you
Mm-hmm.
do. Like everybody can do different things. Like there's 3-and-D players. There's strictly 3-point shooters. There's strictly defenders. There's your all around four men like Paul Millsaps, Draymond's. So like DeAndre is a special case. DeAndre's 7 foot, runs like a track star, built like an action figure, has touch, has the softest touch in the world, and is a freak. You got those guys. Nico's a special case. He's not the tallest, but he's athletic as hell, and he could score. And Josh, 3-and-D guy. He's gonna sit in the corner for you. He's gonna hit a couple threes, up fake, get you a dunk, highlight, get you steals. That's how he gets down. So Zeke's actually a special case. Zeke was a freaking freak here. He was a offensive rebounder, dunked everything, screamed, punched people in the face by accident. Now he's a 3-point shooter. Like he's all his shots are three. So I called him the other. I was like, what's going on? He's like, hey, it feels right. I was like, hey, more power to you. So yeah, just different guys.
So let's go to the final year then of high school. You go to, you said, Crossroads, and you play with Sharif, and we know how that special duo went. A lot of the young guys also develop. Yuki's one of the guys that developed into a pretty solid career out there too. But take us to that year. Obviously, like you said, it takes on a leadership year, a lot different than the past couple years you've been at. What was that year like?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it started off hard because I did, in the Fab 48, I tore my right labrum, so I didn't even play half the season. So all the big tournaments were in December, November, so I missed preseason, everything, working out, rehabbing. So finally, I come back, and it was crazy. It was, playing the whole entire game. Not, usually I got 4 or 5 5 stars with me. This time I only got one 5 star and some guys that are trying to figure it out. So, but the thing that helped was they played hard. They all played hard. They all respected me. I respected them. And it wasn't pretty all the time, but we got the job done. We went to playoffs. I think that was the first time they went to the playoffs in years. So yeah, it was a good experience.
You kind of dealt with that through high school and now throughout your college career so far, where you always have the spotlight on you. You've always been a top 100 guy, highly recruited, guy's been a part of USA minicamp kind of stuff. Like you've always had the spotlight of being an elite player on you. Obviously, off the court is always ups and downs through anyone's life, but especially you've gone through multiple injuries, you've gone through different moves. How are you able to kind of deal with having the spotlight on you constantly while still kind of being holding the expectation of being an elite player, also dealing with the stuff off the court, the injuries and all that?
Mm-hmm. I'm just not paying attention to the media.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just keeping to myself, paying attention to my family, and not really worrying about what others say. You know, injuries are going to happen. Obstacles are going to happen. Different like things are not going to go the way you wanted to. So I've just accepted that, and that's just part of maturing and being 23 versus 18 years old coming into college. So yeah, that's how I deal with that.
So throughout the high school process, you go through the recruiting process and you end up going to Arizona, commit there, and you go part of number 3 recruiting class in the country. You have DeAndre, you have yourself, you have Brandon, you have Alex Barcelo. Take us through the whole group came together.
Oh man, it was fun. It was really fun. Those are my brothers, man. We talk every day still. You know, we have a group chat, and it was just a talented group. I was close with DeAndre from actually not even from the grind session. I knew DeAndre when he first came from the Bahamas when we
Mm-hmm.
were like 13. You know, this dude was skinny as heck. They said he's the number one player. I was like, who the heck is this? So you know, that's how I know DeAndre for a minute. Brandon, we went to All American game together, Ball's Life. Alex, I knew from Arizona. We played Junior Sons together when we were little, and ended up going to the same college. And E-Man, Emmanuel Acott, I didn't know Emmanuel, but he was a 5-star. He actually reclassified up. He was 17, like 16, about to be 17. So he was a young guy with us. But yeah, we did everything together. Worked out together, partied together, studied together. I was the only one with the car, so I was everybody's damn chauffeur. So it was fun. And you know, DeAndre left, and it was it was a whole big deal, number one pick.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually, yeah, I was the last one. I was the last one. E-Man left. Alex left. Brandon went to the G League. So yeah, I was the last one. I never thought about that. So yeah, but it was fun times. Fun times. We're supposed to go on a trip in May, but I found out yesterday I gotta be at GW. So yeah, gotta reschedule that.
And whenever we see these elite classes, obviously the top 5 groups, it's always a bunch of star talent like you guys had. How'd that come
Mm-hmm.
together? Was there one lead guy that kind of put it together? Was it just each guy kind of individually made their own decision? Were you talking to DeAndre, Alex? Like, how'd you guys all come together to form that group?
Um, it was me and DeAndre.
Mm-hmm.
Because like everybody knew I was going to Arizona. Like Arizona was my first like real big offer when I was like 13, 14. So
Mm-hmm.
everybody knew I was going there. So and then DeAndre said he was coming. And me and DeAndre started talking. And then E-Man committed out of nowhere. Like it was the most random commit ever. And then me and Alex knew each other. So I was like, where are you thinking, man? He wanted to go. I think he's like, I'm going to Stanford or Harvard, something like that. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
bro, don't go there. Come to Arizona. Like, you'll be close to your girlfriend, all that. Like, you're a Chandler kid. You'll be down the way. He's like, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. So he came, Brandon Randolph. He committed out of nowhere. Like, he's from New York. And that ended up being my college best friend. So there you go. Like, it was just random. We all just, it was kind of like the Sierra Canyon deal. They just all got all these guys, these talented guys, and boom, put them together. Super team.
And your original expectations, obviously, you come in there What were your original thoughts? Like, did you expect yourself to be a 4-year guy? Did you expect how your career went? Like, what were your original expectations for your Arizona career?
I mean, I wouldn't say I thought I was gonna be a 4-year guy, but
Hmm.
I thought I would do a lot more than I did. But it's not what happened. But I gave my all every day. That's all that matters. And I mean, hey, I didn't go. I haven't been deep in the tournament. Haven't been to a Sweet 16, anything like that. But I've been to the tournament.
Hmm.
So my freshman year, and after that, it was my like I was talking to my dad about this other day. Man, I could write a book about my college career. It was just so much stuff from the FBI to
Hmm.
off the court stuff to these injuries to there's just so many different things that happened in my college career. But I'm just happy I got another chance to have another year, have some fun, work on my master's degree, and take a young George Washington team far.
And you are the only eighth player in Sean Miller's history to have 4 years under his belt at Arizona with him. That's something that obviously is not known for a really common thing at Arizona. Clearly, a lot of guys are one and done type of caliber guys, maybe 2 years, and some guys might transfer out. Obviously, we talk about Alex and the other guys. What kind of was that like? Because not a lot of guys build that relationship with Sean Miller for 4 years. How did your
Mm-hmm.
bond grow with him over that course of a 4-year span?
I mean, it was close. We like I said, they offered me when I was 13, so they knew me as a young kid, and they were with me throughout the whole process as far as like my shoulders when I got hurt. So I just always felt like I should be loyal in some way,
Mhm.
and that's what I did. And initially, I never transferred because like it was more of a pride thing. Like I don't want to be like everyone else in transfer, but like hey, look at me now. But it's different circumstances now.
Mhm.
But I mean, I'm happy. I spent my 4 years there. I grew up. Definitely went from a boy to a man. Got better as a basketball player. Got to play with some great players and experience that I can never experience I can never replay. An experience that I'll always have in my heart for sure.
That's something that's special too, because we talk about you, we see even this year, obviously the most ever because of all the different rule changes and extra eligibility. But still, typically guys love to transfer out. It's a common thing where guys are constantly leaving colleges, especially when you're in a circumstance. A former top 100 guy, obviously, you guys much playing time as you probably deserved or could have had. Like, what kind
Mm-hmm.
of led you each year when you had the chance to probably go and you could have went to a lot of the colleges probably reached out to you or would have? Like, what really kept you there? Why'd you stay so loyal to Arizona throughout all that time?
I just figured if I worked harder,
Hmm.
um, I get more playing time. And it didn't work out like that. They obviously had other plans, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing personal. At the end of the day, this is business.
Hmm.
This is business, and no hard feelings. Um, I always have love for Arizona. Arizona always has love for me. I
Hmm.
got love for Coach Miller. I talked to the dude the other day, but yeah, it is what it is.
So let's go to that freshman year. Obviously, you guys come out there, you guys are a top ranked team throughout the course of the season. Kind of gets to that year. You guys finish up 27-8. You guys have the big upset loss to Buffalo that year, but still nothing less. It's still a solid year for you guys. What was that first year
Yeah.
like for you?
It was fun. It was fun. It was a super talented team between upperclassmen and freshmen. We just we had that was the problem though. We had too much talent. We didn't mesh well on the court all the time. Between we had Alonzo Trier, Raleigh Alkins,
Mhm.
Parker Jackson Cartwright, Dusan Ristic, Keanu Pinder. Like we had guys, and then the freshmen. So it was hectic sometimes, but when we were clicking, we clicked. There were games where we'll score like dang near 120. Just everybody has 10 plus points, and then there's games where nobody scores and everybody's pissy and nobody plays defense, and it's just all bad. You know.
That's not an uncommon thing. We see that with a lot of teams that sometimes put together too much talent, even at the NBA level, high school, college level as well. But how could you have changed? Like, if you guys go back, would there have been a way to fix that? Was it a chemistry thing? Would it just have to have been not as much talent there on the team? Or how could that season possibly gotten better where kind of you guys came out and became as good as you guys possibly could have been?
Yeah, I mean, probably more of a chemistry thing.
Mhm.
Just I don't really know how. I feel like chemistry. If it doesn't gel, then it doesn't gel. Then it's not
Mhm.
going to work out. You can't really teach it. You can't force it. You can have all the team gatherings, meetings, but it doesn't matter. It's like if you don't like someone, you don't like someone. Now, if you guys can put that aside and like you guys both love winning, then life is great. But that wasn't the case.
Mhm.
Guys were more caught up in social media and stuff like that. So it is what it is.
I'm gonna take us to the locker room. Obviously, at that time, it sucked, obviously, getting upset in the first round of the playoffs. But how did you guys handle that in the locker room after the upset loss?
Oh, it was bad. I mean, we thought we were gonna go far. I think we were
Mhm.
what, like the three or four seed. We were gonna go far. We were looking good in practice. Everything was clicking. So Buffalo came out and it's Buffalo. They play hard as heck. So it was hard. We had a lot of seniors on that team. So Dusan, Parker, Keanu were all crying, and yeah, it was over. So DeAndre, we all knew DeAndre was gone, but so are you gonna come back? No, he's not coming back. Like, come on now. Like, let's be real here. And yeah, what do I remember from that week? I mean, it was me and E-Man's birthdays on the 17th of March. My birthday's on the 19th. So we had a birthday party, a pity party, as we called it. And life went on, and we moved on to the next season.
There's a couple of the talented guys on the team. One guy you mentioned, obviously, Alonzo Trier. He's a special player, and we saw him put up pretty good numbers over his time in the NBA. Obviously, he's out of there
hmm
right now, but kind of take us through him. What was it like being around him, and kind of take us through what it's been like watching him when he was in the NBA.
Score, pure score, dude. Dude's a magician with the ball. Like it's one person where okay, he's gonna put up about 16 shots, but he's gonna get you about 25, close to 30. So you know, that's all I can say about that dude. And you saw it in the NBA. With the Knicks, he came in undrafted, nothing guaranteed to him, and dunking on everybody, shooting his shots,
Mm-hmm.
doing doing what he does. So, I think he'll be back in the league soon. If not, he'll be overseas making a lot of money, and he'll be all right. I'm supposed to work out with him in Phoenix soon. So see how that goes.
And as you mentioned earlier, then we know that during that summer, a couple of years obviously following that, even up to today, we have the whole FBI investigation comes into play. And I know that's a lot for a team. Obviously, you're trying to focus on winning, trying to focus on your basketball, but you obviously can't stay away from the headlines constantly coming through. You're just handling it within the program as well. How much of a toll did that kind of take on you guys? And how did you personally handle that, having all that kind of cloud over you guys for the rest of your career?
It was a lot, but for the most part, I just shut down from social media.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of just kept to myself, especially like going around school because the news was everywhere. So,
Mm-hmm.
and it was especially hard on the team because we lost a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we didn't sweep it under the carpet, but it was still there. It was definitely different, and the vibe was off, and you could see it. I mean, that team shouldn't have lost in the first round of the NCAA tournament. So that team shouldn't have lost. I mean, we shouldn't have lost three in a row in the Bahamas. People forget about that. So um, there's a lot that went on that shouldn't have happened, but it is what it is.
Personally, I know Coach Book pretty well. I know he always see all the guys always had a great relationship with him. He was kind of that fun assistant coach that guys like being around. Kind of talk about his impact on your life. Like, what was it like being around Coach Book?
He wasn't like a coach; he was more like an uncle. We never even called
Mm-hmm.
him coach; we called him uncle. It's a dude I still talk to today. We're still close. Obviously, me being on the East Coast, I'll be closer to him. So it'll be nice to see him.
Absolutely. Well, heading into that sophomore year, then obviously your expectation probably was you get a lot more minutes, and the All-Star was your biggest year you've had, your best year. Can I walk us
Hmm.
through that though? How are you preparing for that year, and what kind of led you having your best college career there?
Hmm. I mean, sophomore year was a hard year for me because
Mm.
I lost my grandmother that year. So and I got into some trouble. I won't speak too much on right now. But
Mhm.
I got into some trouble, and I kind of just had an effort attitude. I just said I'm just gonna leave everything out on the court, and I'm gonna have no emotions, and I'm just gonna play hard. And that's what I did, and eventually I think I started starting at the end of the year,
Mhm.
and yeah, that was my best year. But I was playing off pure emotion, just emotion and determination.
Would you say during that time, obviously you said you have the thing that happened off the court, you're obviously with your grandma. Was there something that kind of came into your life that helped you through it? Was there someone that you kind of turned to? Or like what helped kind of get you through that year?
My teammates, and my parents, just always checking on me. My roommate was like my best friend since I was in middle school. So they all helped me through that rough time, and I'm doing. It's been 2 years, 3 years now, so I'm doing great now. Not great, but I'm doing well now. So
Mhm.
you know, it's not everybody has emotions. Everybody goes through stuff, so I can't dwell on it either.
And there's a guy, and you said I said obviously part of your recruiting class. He was from Arizona, grew up here. Obviously, just had to move on then. But talk about you guys bond a little bit more. Like, how close would you guys get? And also, what's it been like kind of seeing him really blow up and have his great career and end up wrapping up with at BYU?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy for Alex, man. He's been through a lot. As a dude I know very personally. And if anybody that knows him knows he's been through a lot. So to see him finally go somewhere and blossom is great. Because I mean, Alex in high school was a dog.
Hmm.
Alex was the Alex was the guy you didn't want to play.
Hmm.
Like, hey, don't go under the screen. He's gonna shoot it. Hey, don't go over the screen. He's gonna shoot a floater. It's like that was Alex. So to see him come to college and not blossom and be the Gatorade Arizona State Player of the Year, that it was kind of sad. So for him to leave, and he was all apologetic and teary eyed. I was like, bro, you got to do what's best for you. So much love always. Now doing great. Had a great season. His girlfriend still goes to Arizona, so we all hung out the other night. So I was on the phone with him. He looks great. He's going up. All my guys are going up. That's the great thing.
So you head into that junior year, and obviously you guys have a whole lot of new guys come in, and a much younger team once again. You guys get Nico, you guys have Zeke, you guys have Josh come in. What was that whole year like?
Um, it was cool. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it was a different year. Young team. I mean, not like my senior year, but it was a young team, man. They had a lot of expectations in them. The coach put a lot of expectations in them, and for the most part, they fulfilled them. But and also too, COVID. COVID ruined it. That's the main one. We would. I feel like we would have went far in the tournament, but COVID stopped that. So
There's one guy in Zeke who came in. Obviously, we saw him having possible pro potential, but I don't think a lot of people projected him being an NBA draft pick right off the back his freshman year,
mhm.
one done. Did you see that on the first day of practice, or did you kind of get shocked the way he developed over the course of that year?
Oh no,
Hmm.
we knew Zeke was going to be a pro. Like we'll play one on one, and like when we get there in the summer, he was doing stuff like he didn't even know he was doing it. I was like, yeah, he's going to be a pro. So yeah, we knew he was going to be a pro.
And obviously, coming off your sophomore year, which was your career year, it wasn't obviously the same amount of playing time. You didn't get as much starts as that prior year. But you kind of started really
Mhm.
taking on that leadership role. You really started emerging as that leader of the team, a great locker room guy. How'd you kind of accept that role?
I mean, I feel like naturally I've always been that guy. Just that's just who I am as a person. I just just feel like if the vibe is good, then everyone can play well.
Mm-hmm.
So I just always try to make sure things are balanced. Guys are feeling good. If you're feeling down on yourself, I'll pick you up. Coach yells at you, I'm there with you. That type of deal.
Was there any point throughout your career where you looked at and you said, I think I'm better than this guy? You don't need to say any names, obviously, but like, was there any point that you kind of like questioning yourself, like, why am I not playing over this guy? Why am I not getting the minutes as much as this? And how did you kind of deal with that if that was the case?
I used to do that when I was younger, like my freshman year, sophomore year,
Mm-hmm.
and then I kind of stepped back and said, let me look at the things I can control. So
Mm-hmm.
I just worked harder, make sure I stayed in shape, changed my diet, just worked on my jumper, just stayed at it, and that's why I still have this opportunity now. And obviously I'm going to try to make the best of it. And yeah, I just kept telling myself, I know who I am. I know what I can do. I know what my worth is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all that matters. Forget anybody else.
And that's the mentality that a lot of guys struggle with. We see sometimes NBA guys finally get that, but it's very rare for a college guy to kind of get the mentality and start accepting, just looking at the positive and truly saying what you can do to make the best situation of it. Who kind of gave you that mindset? Was that truly just yourself kind of realizing it all by yourself?
It was my dad. My dad went through the same thing at USC, didn't really play that much all 4 years, still ended up being a ninth round pick for the Raiders. So had a 5-year career. So, he's always taught me persevere and don't put your head down. Like just keep there's always people watching. There's gonna be people watching when you have a bad body language. There's gonna be people watching when you're jumping up and doing backflips. So I was like, all right, fair enough.
So that's when you come in your senior year. And this past year, you really were the older guy on the team. You were the leader. You were having to mentor a lot of guys because you have a huge freshman class come in. I think five, six, seven of you guys all come in there. What was that like?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, this youngest team, one of the youngest teams in the entire country. How did you kind
Mm-hmm.
of take a hold of that team? What was it like having that many young guys on the team?
Man, it was an adventure. It was an adventure, but though I felt like as my mom says, I'm the dad of the team to some extent. She's right. Having what, seven freshmen? Yeah, seven freshmen. Most of them not even from this country. So in a pandemic, not even a. Let me just add that part. So, but it was fun though. Just teaching them, and they all listened. Um, Europeans, man, they can play. They can play. Kerr Krisa, Azulis Tabelis, Daniel Bacho. Those dudes can play. They don't. Azulis doesn't talk much, doesn't say anything, but he'll get you 30. Kerr will talk your head off, and he'll get you 30. And I love Daniel. That's my little prodigy because he plays hard as heck. Oh my god! And elbowed me in the dang stomach his first practice out. I was like, damn. So, but they're great class. Dalen Terry from Phoenix. He's gonna be a pro. I think he's gonna be a pro. He's reminds us of Rondé Hollis Jefferson,
Mm-hmm.
but with a jumper. No offense to Rondé. Love him to death. He's still making money, so I can't say anything. But Dalen's gonna be a pro. Ben, I'm actually surprised Ben didn't declare this year because Ben Matherin, he's a pro. Oh my gosh. He jokes with me, oh, I want to be like you. I'm like, no, you don't. I'm trying to be like you. And who else? Yeah, I think that's it. Other guys are walk-ons. Other guys are walk-ons, and yeah, I was the only senior. I didn't even think about that. I was the only true senior. So, and my buddy Matt, he's a walk-on, and Terrell, his grad transfer. He's going to Washington.
Mm-hmm.
So Yeah, it was a fun year, real fun year. Get my degree,
Hmm.
and I'm definitely, I'm still gonna watch these guys when I'm over on the East Coast. Can't be too loud with my celebration, but I definitely still be supporting them. I love them. I love this place. It's a second home for sure, and
Hmm.
it's time to move on to my third one.
You kind of got to take us through a little bit more about that because when you're talking about a pandemic, we know all the restrictions that came into play. And you said a lot of these guys aren't just freshmen, but a lot of these guys came from another country, obviously not fluently
Mm-hmm.
speaking English. They're just trying to learn how to play American basketball completely, learn how to live the college life. All this stuff's chaotic for those guys. How
Mm-hmm.
was that like listening to them and kind of getting them to speak English better and kind of get the whole understanding of how it's like living in America and American basketball?
Mm-hmm. The basketball part was easy. You just if you play
Mm-hmm.
every day, you'll pick it up eventually. Like if you get dunked on 3 times, you're gonna figure out by the fourth time that maybe I should do something a little different. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how it worked for them. Obviously they had to get used to the physical part of the game, especially like playing with me. But
Mm-hmm.
they got it once they got that down. They started having a little swagger to them. And college life, that was the biggest one, man, because I've been here, so like I
Mm-hmm.
know what McHale's like when there's 15,000 people. I know what the parties are like. I know homecoming, all that stuff. They didn't get any of that. They didn't even get to go on campus. They didn't get to walk to class. They didn't get the whole experience. So, no football games, nothing like that. So, hope I look forward to them having that experience next year because it's Arizona's a very fun place when everything is full blown. But yeah, it was crazy. Just going. First of all, waking up every morning at 7 to get COVID tested. That was berserk. Like we did that every single morning, even on off days. And then what games getting canceled, can't go home, being stuck here, go from I'm sick of Zoom. You said I'm sending the Zoom link. I'm like, ah, so sick of Zoom. Because I got all my classes are on Zoom. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's different. But hopefully next year we can have fans.
Mm-hmm.
we can things will be back to normal. We can socialize, mingle, and have a fun year.
Now, I heard for a lot of guys that this past year, because of the restrictions, having different pranks in the freshmen was a lot harder this year. Do you guys ever have any freshman pranks for any of the guys this year?
Nah, I don't do that stuff. I leave that to other guys. I mean, I don't, especially if you tried it on me. If you ever try on me, I would probably go berserk. So yeah, no, I've never been hazed. I've never hazed anyone. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna keep it at that.
What would you say is the funniest memory or funniest moment from this past season?
Funniest moment. Funniest moment. I probably have to say Azulis when Azulis dunked on a kid from Colorado, and he did the John Cena and didn't get a technical. Azulis reminds you, Azulis doesn't say anything. Like doesn't say a word. Hates playing defense too, but dunked on this kid. Did the "you can't see me" in his face. Ran back. I was like, no way. But yeah, that's my funniest moment.
At your entire college career, then, what's your funniest moment?
Mm. Probably my freshman year we went to Spain
Mm-hmm.
for like right before school started. And this is like kind of funny, not funny, a little scary, but so so there was a terrorist attack when we went over there. It was Barcelona
Mm-hmm.
when the vans were like running people over with bombs and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
so like our hotel is like literally like a few steps from all this stuff. So I'm asleep. I'm asleep in the hotel room because we had like a free day,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm asleep in the hotel room. Everybody's blowing up my phone. I got like 30 missed calls. There's sirens outside. I go downstairs. My whole team's downstairs. Everybody's like, "There's Ira. He's fine." I was like, "What's going on?" There's a terrorist attack, bro. I was like, "Oh, okay, okay, okay. This is making more sense." So Alex, Brandon, E-Man, they all get back, and you think they'd be terrified? They're dying laughing, like, bro, we just ran away from terrorists. Like, why are we laughing right now? Like, he was like, bro, we jumped down to shoot, and then we went to McDonald's. This random guy jumped out the McDonald's ice cream machine. I was like, okay, all right. So this is what I missed. I go to sleep for an hour. Okay. Yeah, that was crazy. It was fun trip, but we had to come back early. I think we canceled our game and everything. Came back to school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we wanted to get the heck out. I was like, terrorist attack. Oh no. They said there's another van coming. I was like, yeah, you got to go.
So was everyone else in the room at that point then, or was it just those two were out?
Every majority of the team was out. Like DeAndre was out.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, majority of the team was at the beach, so they weren't even near it. But like Parker and his family saw the whole deal. Alex, E-Man, Brandon saw it. They ran away. I think a couple of the coaches. And I was slumped at the hotel.
My last one about Arizona before we talk about your big move now is you look back at all the guys you play with now the past 4 years. Who would you put together? You put together the starting lineup, your top 5 guys. Who's in that starting 5, the best Arizona guys you play with?
Point guard. Okay. Point guard, I put Parker. Mm-hmm. Love Parker. That's my big bro. Shooting guard, probably Brandon Randolph.
Mm-hmm.
Small forward. Ooh, small forward. That's tough. Ooh, we've had some good ones too. Oh, well, I'll give it to Ben. Ben, a small forward. Power forward, DeAndre. And center. Ooh, center. Probably Zeke. I'll put Zeke at center. Zeke and DeAndre, that'd be dirty.
Well, we're at then. Who's your first 5 guys off the bench then?
First 5 off the bench, probably be Ryan Luther, Justin Coleman, Alonzo Trier, Raleigh, and Keanu.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those dudes. Many more. There's many more other names, but those are the ones that really come to mind.
Let's kind of go through this process because then you end up your career and obviously you get the extra year eligibility. And so you take that, put it in the transfer portal, kind of takes through how all this stuff goes down. Obviously, you announce that you're going to put your name in the portal, you come back for another year. What all went through that decision and what kind of was the whole portal and the recruitment process like?
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted a chance to really show what I could do because I felt like I didn't do that at Arizona. I was in a role, which I didn't have a problem with. Obviously, I was there for 4 years, so but I just wanted to go to a place where I was a leader. I could be myself, and I can kind of run the show. Not run the show, but be the guy, be the leader to win. So yeah, that's why I chose to come to George Washington.
Now, when you heard the NCAA first put in the rule saying that you guys do have the extra year eligibility, did you immediately think that you're going to take an extra year? Did you take time to process it? Like, when did you first decide, okay, I want to spend another year in college?
I was already thinking about it before the season ended. Me and my family already kind of discussed it, and we just figured that's what would be best for me, and I'd be happier that way too.
So GW won you over. Who else was in the mix for you? Was it a number 2 option for you? Like, who else was in the picture for you?
See, I had LMU, LMU, Pepperdine, Long Beach State, New Mexico State, UNLV, and San Diego State.
And obviously, I'm pretty high on Coach Christian and that entire coaching staff. And obviously, this year was a little bit down here just because of COVID got hanging on them. But overall, we see how great Coach Christian's been. It's one of the top young coaches up and coming. The A10 is probably the best mid-major conference. Take us through that though. Like, how did they win you over? What was the pitch to you? How did they land you?
You know, just being basically promising a place that'll be with open arms and let me be myself. And they feel like it's a place I'll flourish, as a person and as a basketball player. And I agreed. And I made the move. It took less than 2 weeks to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Coach Christian is a great dude too.
Mm-hmm.
So that helps.
Discuss him a little bit, like for fans to get to know him too. Like, what's he like off the court? And he's recruiting you, talking to you. Like, what's Coach Christian like off the court, personality wise? Can I take us through that?
He's a young guy, young, energetic guy. Just
Mm-hmm.
loves his job, just trying to win. Just trying to, has a point to prove, like a lot of young coaches.
And when you're talking about going to A10, we know it's probably the best mid-major conference. We know how much star talent's been coming out of there recently. How excited to be a part of that conference?
I can't wait. I've been watching for some time. Obviously the recent stars have came out, like the Obi Toppins, and just seeing how those teams function and play. They all play hard, rugged East Coast style. So it's good to see.
Now, for fans that haven't got to see you a lot, what is the full Ira Lee? We know you're athletic. We've seen many of those highlight plays before. We know you can shot block, you can dunk, high field goal percentage. But kind of get to the whole year. Like, what is GW getting in you?
Getting the leader, versatile guy that can do it all, put on the floor, rebound, defend, shoot it. Guy's gonna give his all, his heart to the program and do what he can do to win.
And you look at the way this roster is coming together. We know there's a lot of good returners coming back, as well as you also bring a couple of good freshmen, and there's two other transfers already announced too that's coming in. Have you talked to any of those guys yet? Have you talked to anyone on the team? Like, where do you stand with the other guys on the roster right now?
I haven't really talked to many of them yet, but I will. I plan to. I've just been, finishing up school and stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
But it's we got some talent, some real talent. Obviously, I wouldn't like I told my friends back here, like I wouldn't go all the way to the East Coast if I didn't think I was gonna win. Mm-hmm. So, it should be fun.
And obviously having all those many pieces coming together, it's going to be kind of hard to get it. Originally, just kind of get the chemistry, figure everything out. But when you guys do click together, we guys all come together, how special can this team be?
It's going to be dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to get into too much detail. I'll just keep it at that. It's going to be a dangerous team.
Are there any games or teams you're specifically looking into? Like, what's one game you're really excited for, if there are any, for next year?
None that come to mind. I approach every game pretty much the same. It's I don't really care if you're number 100. It doesn't matter. Still gonna try to kill you.
And for fans to get a little bit more background behind you, I know you talk about that quite a bit too. Obviously, you have a lot of different nationality behind your name. Can they get to that?
Yeah, I'm half Korean. My last name is Lee, but actually my dad's last name is Lee. And I don't know the full history of that. I think there's some Asian bloodline down on my dad's side. But yeah, my mom's from Korea. Was born there, brought to America when she was 12, 13. And she grew up in Phoenix. So, yeah.
I know some guys have always looked at the opportunity of playing for the parents' country before, and there's a way to do that, obviously, with a lot of stuff. Have you ever looked into that? Has it ever been something you considered playing for countries, different nationality teams?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, if the opportunity's there, yeah, I would definitely do it. It would be nice. Take my mom back, see her country. It's definitely something I'm interested in.
Without doubt. Well, a few more things before I let you go. One of which I was like wrapping up is discussing your legacy. And I think that's something that all guys ultimately want to do for themselves. So when you do step away from the game of basketball someday down the road, what do you ultimately want to be remembered for what you achieved both on and off the court?
Just guy that always cared about his teammates and just always put his all into the game, whether it was off the court, on the court, or whatever I was doing. And yeah, it's a hard worker, the nice guy that works hard.
Absolutely, man. Well, final thing for you. Give GW fans your three biggest goals you have set for your GW career.
Three biggest goals. Okay. Win conference. Win the conference next year. Win the league and the tournament, and be an all conference player, and bring excitement to GW.
Absolutely, man. Well, I definitely appreciate taking time to come on today, and I look forward to seeing what I got next for you, man.
Yes, sir, man. Appreciate your time.
Of course, I was welcome on, man. God bless.
Yes, sir. You too, my man.